Beltline to Broadway. Beltline, oh my, helps get through the tough times. Broadway, hooray. Let's all tune in to Beltline to Broadway. What do you say? You could binge any day, listening to Beltline to Broadway. Beltline to Broadway.
I'm Lauren Van Hemert, and this is Beltline to Broadway.
Hi, I'm Jay Marjorie Henderson. I am an actor, I'm a writer, and I'm an assistant director now. I recently just became a member of Actors Equity, and I am co-hosting today.
So for our listeners, we're doing this a little bit differently. We're going to do this as a roundtable because we're here with the Sheely family, the fictitious Sheely family, because I think people are going to really start thinking you're the Sheely family.
But they are, though. Sitting here with them, they really are.
They become a family.
Right.
So I'm going to have you go around and introduce yourselves and tell me who you're playing in this wonderful production.
Hi, I'm Aya Wallace, and I am playing Avery.
Hi, I'm J. Rochelle Fowler, and I play Shelley Sheely.
Hello, I'm Jackie Diaz-Brown, and I play Dot.
And I'm Mark Robinson, and I play Donnie.
Donnie Hathaway or Donnie?
Donnie. I'm Nick Popio. I'm playing Adam, who is Donnie's husband.
I'm Katie Milligan, and I played Jackie, a longtime friend of the Sheelys.
And I am Anjali Thawani, and I am playing Fidelia, who is Dot's caretaker.
And I'm Natasha Jackson, and I am the director of Dot.
So for folks who don't know, this is a play by Coleman Domingo about a family wrestling, navigating with Alzheimer's and dementia. Coleman Domingo specify a black family for the Sheely family?
He did. He did specify a black family. However, he also specified those supporting actors, individuals around being diverse. Mm-hmm. And I think it's key because within the black community, there's so many things that we don't talk about, we don't address. So I think it was very important that he went that route. I'm glad he went that route.
As African Americans, we're more susceptible to this disease than other people, and it's like these aren't conversations that are had in black households. We just call it, she got old timers, and and that's all we ever say. She forgets, and it's like this is an actual right. This is an actual a debilitating disease, and that it needs to be faced.
Yeah, and I think that's what's really important about this the Sheely family being a black family, because truth be told, there are just some things that culturally we do that other cultures may not do or may not understand. And so I think it's just kind of one of those things where you see certain behaviors. There are going to be certain things in this production that people of color are going to be able to relate to immediately, because they're going to see those little nuance. Yeah, we do that. Yeah, we do say that.
I think culturally also there is, especially in BIPOC, particularly black families, there's a shame that's associated with it, and there's this level of denial or a diminished acceptance, like, oh, she's just forgetful, and do not want to address it, and definitely do not want to seek outside help, because culturally we are taught that that's family stuff. You keep it private. We don't discuss it. You don't let it outside the doors. Right. And the toll that it takes on a family, especially because typically caregivers are prominently in the black families. Like, we take on the role, and then for the role reversal, the child now having to parent the parent, the toll that it takes on that individual, and the level of depression and other mental stuff that occurs because of this cultural thing of keeping inside, not sharing, not wanting to discuss it, not even amongst family members, and just trying to passively deal with it.
It can be a cultural thing that, we just don't share it in our culture, but
seek help.
Right. because I guess we don't feel like there's help or any assistance for that type of situation.
My partner is a psychiatrist, and he says that a lot of his patients who are African American come in, and there is a lot of shame about mental health and seeking help for your mental health. So there is that in the mental health community.
And just finding professionals in the health industry who are also BIPOC is really difficult. And I think it can be really important. My daughter is Black, and trying to help her find professionals who can help her navigate the system and who understand what it's like to be a Black person in this society is really challenging. Obviously, it varies based on where you live, but even so, just trying to find people who are going to understand and are going to be able to actually speak to lived experience can be very challenging.
Representation matters.
It does.
Certainly.
It's not always just shame, but
Pride.
also trust. You know, African Americans have a history of people taking advantage of them medically, and I think the trust is the biggest element.
I'm curious because theater is all about trust. We've gone through COVID, and the way we relate to each other, the way we interact with each other has changed. There's so many conversations around how to make theater safe, not just for performers, but for audiences as well. How do we create safe space and trust in theater, especially with a play like this that's going to open up so much raw emotion?
I'm speaking from the perspective of the board of North Raleigh Arts and Creative Theater. I know one of the things that we here at North Raleigh Arts and Creative Theater have put into place is an opportunity for therapists or counselors to be in the area, in the space, if actors, actresses, artists, and audience members, if they need that care is provided for them. And so I think that's really important that that you know that there's someone that you can speak to and talk to and gain more information, or, you know, if you need a shoulder to cry on, or if you need to speak with someone about what you're feeling emotionally, you have that opportunity here. And then just from an artist's perspective and being a part of this cast, I believe that it translates. So whatever is on stage, what we have created here, goes beyond the fourth wall and into the audience space. And so that is the hope, I believe, is that what we have created on stage is felt in the audience, and you don't have to feel alone. And then also, we have community talks, we have our talk backs, and so with that in mind, the hope again is that an audience member feels like they can come into this space because we are having the conversations. So knowing that conversations are being had about a particular topic, and in this case, Alzheimer's and dementia, if I know that there's conversations, that there are counselors, then I know that I can go in that space and not be judged. It's a no judgment space. I can cry. In fact, I believe that we will have tissues. So I believe that that's how that space is created.
The word creative space, I hear that a lot. I hear that in every show that I have ever been a part of, every single one. But I think part of that has to do with individuals, right? Because there's a certain level of character and integrity that one must have. I'm sort of an emotional person, just a little, and so I have, and I'm always going to be authentically me, and because of the person I am, and then just some other things as an artist. I think the creative space has to be amongst people, because if you take any of us and put us in another show, we're the same people. Like the care and the love that we show and the support that we provide each other is just individually who we are, I believe. Because most of these people I've known prior to this show. So I think that comes from just internally choosing to be a loving and caring person, and then just supporting folks who are different from you, right? So that comes to that DEI, understanding that we all come from different backgrounds, right? We all have different experiences, lived experiences, or vicariously living through people that we know and love. But if we understand that I may be an emotional person and will cry at the drop of a hat, but that doesn't diminish who I am, or it doesn't take away from you who may not be. You know what I'm saying? So if we just approach everything in that DEI lens, understanding diversity, equity, and inclusion, and recognizing differences and accepting and supporting people for who they are and where they are, in that moment. So
it's one thing for a company to say, we want to create a safe space. It's another thing when they do it, and it starts with leadership.
I just want to reinforce what I think everybody is kind of saying, which is that in order to create those spaces and to create an environment where you can have that level of trust and build all of that, you have to have that intentionality.
This is a tough play. It's a serious play, but in it, we found so much joy. Mm-hmm. And so when you find that joy, you can find that love and put people at ease, right? And that is what I think ultimately allows people to succeed and do their best work, because of the joy that comes amidst all of the chaos, per se. It's something that I try to do in my own life and my other job, and I think that's what was so successful here.
This cast has been phenomenal. I think that any director would love to go in to a production, say, okay, this is what I want to happen, and have it happen. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't. There's an outlier, it's what have you. And I can genuinely say that this cast, this production team, this crew understood the assignment. Each and every one of them.
And I want to say there is a universality to this story, although it's a Black family, although they're dealing with a very specific illness. Talk about the universality of it.
It's not just Alzheimer's. It's what do you do when somebody that you love gets sick? Because watching anybody that you love get sick can be so traumatic, right? And they all take their toll because that person is never the same. And so you're never the same. And I think a lot of us can maybe relate to that.
We know that Alzheimer's exists. And it exists across all races, all economic statuses. It exists. What also exists is aging. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen to all of us. And I think the only difference that really stands out with DOT is that it focuses on a Black family and how we do and or do not deal with such. But this is a show that everyone can relate to. And I think case in point, when the Alzheimer's Association of North Carolina was here and they were talking about all of the different behaviors and what have you, and what the caregivers experience, I'm standing there, I'm like, this is our show. This is our show. This is our show. This is our show. They did not come here to speak specifically on how Alzheimer's dementia impacts a Black family or Black Americans. They were speaking on Alzheimer's. But yet what they were talking about DOT is hitting on all of those things. If more production companies would be willing to put on shows that actually have something more substantial behind them without the fear of alienating, I think they would be amazed at how many people would be able to say, oh my gosh, I really needed that. I needed to hear that. I needed to see that. And it's knowledge through arts. Sometimes if we see it, it's like, maybe I'm not alone. If somebody was able to write this and I feel like they're writing about my life, I can't be the only one. So maybe there is support out there. Maybe there is someone for me to talk to. The arts have, and I feel the arts always have had the potential to do so much, but we just have to allow it to happen.
Having spent quite a bit of time with the cast and crew of DOT, I can honestly say that they are the real deal in terms of their commitment to each other, their commitment to the work, and their commitment to community. You can catch the North Raleigh Arts and Creative Theater production of DOT through February 5th. I will put links in the episode notes. If you like what you've heard today, please consider subscribing to this podcast or visit us online at www.beltlinetobroadway.org. Until next time, I'll see you at the theater.
Beltline to Broadway.